Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Next up in the SVS line of the Prime series is the Prime Center. Like I said in the previous videos, I'm not going to go too deep into specs as I unbox. That will come with a testing video that's always after the unboxing video. So let's get to seeing what's in the box. Packaging from the outside, like all SVS products, you know, very meh. But that's not what they focus on. They are never on the packaging or looks unless it's the Ultra Evolution series. But we will compare this center to the other center and we'll put them side by side and see if it's worth paying the extra going up to, there's my Ultra, these names, SVS Ultra Evolution Center. This is the SVS Prime Center. And again, I said I was going to check this in the next packaging. There's nothing supporting here. If something hits, speaker's going to get damaged. I wish SVS will up their packaging. Their packaging for their subs are insane, but for the speakers, for me, just not on par. I'm sure a lot of them get damaged in transit. But okay, as with all SVS products, on top, look, don't fall, don't leave us, come back. Okay, so with all SVS products, there's your registration manual and the booklets on top. Not much to their packaging. You get the speaker out. I'm gonna roll the speaker out. Let's not make this mistake again. Okay, there we go. They give, oh, there's some free M pads in here as well. We'll use that just so it doesn't slide around on the surfaces. That out the way. Plastic off. Felted covers on the side. And yeah, finish is very nice and the same as on all the rest. Let's have a look at this front face. Angled, mited up. That's a nice little touch on the grill. It's got this sort of plain black face. Quite a thick MDF baffle for the front, 52mm. Then it's wrapped in that black ash imitation veneer. Joined at the bottom, very nice. And at the back we have dual ports with single binding posts, so no bi-amping on these. Bi-amping, bi-wiring will only come on the Ultra Evolution speakers. This is kept at a budget, maximum performance as with all their Prime products. Let's have a look at the center's face. Okay, we'll get that center now. We'll put them side by side to compare. Okay guys, so there is the Ultra Evolution. Here is the Prime center. Drivers, bigger on that. On these we have the same mid drivers as, okay, it looks slightly different. I'll put the specification in the description and also in the video. This looks like a 5 to me, but it's not the same driver as that, and it's not the same. We'll check on the bookshelf now. We'll check on the bookshelf if this is the same driver as on the bookshelf. But a small little 4-inch, 3 or 4-inch, 5, and the 1-inch tweeter. I'll put the specification, as I said, in the description better, so you guys can go through all of that. I just want to see size-wise. Now the Ultra Evolution dwarfs this in every sense. You can see where you're paying more there. From the quality of the driver, even on the mid, that's way advanced to this. I'm going to love to see what this sounds like. I'm going to put them next to each other so we can hear, does all of that advanced cabinetry, advanced drivers really make a big difference? Or did they, again, like on the Prime floor standing speakers, hit it out the park where the bigger speakers are better, but those primes are just so good. You really need a good reason to go up, otherwise you'll be more than happy. But I've not heard this. This is the first time I'm going to be testing it, so I do not know. I do not know what to expect at all, guys. So stay tuned for that video where we're going to be testing. That will be up next. Welcome back. As you can see, center speaker comparison and shootout time on the SVS, the Prime center and the Ultra center. Quickly before we continue, I need to address on the video of the Ultra center, the spec I put on screen was from the old one. In this one I will put the new spec. Mistake I made by quickly going through spec, screenshotting it and not checking that it is the new center. Apologies for that. I will correct it in this one. Spec for this one on screen, spec for this one on screen. You guys can compare them. As I've always said, I'm not one for spec and paper. I listen with my ears, so that is why I do these comparison tests. Firstly, you can see how much bigger the Ultra is. Driver wise, not so huge a difference. We have a bigger mid-range and we have a slightly bigger on the center. Well, this is a freeway, so technically this is the bass drivers, this will be the mid-range, and this will be the tweeter, and the same for there. It is nice that they have the dedicated mid-range driver. I like that. So as you can see from the front, this is sort of, I'll turn it to the side now, but that is more angled up. This is straight, well, is it straight down? It looks like it can almost not be 90 degree, but I think it's the chamfer on the side that gives the illusion. But I do think that this is 90 degree upwards. Just gives a slight illusion that it's not. That one is definitely not. That one does angle upwards. And again, time aligned drivers. So bigger in width, slightly higher, much deeper. Let's turn them so you guys can see them from the side. There you can see the depth now, much deeper. If we turn them to the back, can you also see it's also angled, as you can see. Back. This will have a single binding post, that will have a two-way binding post, four-way binding post, so that can be bi-wired or bi-amplified. This is single. This is all, like I've said in all my videos, and it goes through the entire range. This is a very basic finish on it with the wood grain wrap, the very basic just red and black binding posts. Still nicely done, but this is just on another level where we have the painted cabinets, we have the nicer terminals. It's four-way build quality. This is just the Ultra. It's the price that you pay, I think mostly goes into design, look, and also in the audio quality, but you are paying a lot for this look. This will be more for the guy that doesn't care about that stuff that much and just about the audio. What I want to do today is I want to play these two centers so we can A/B them, and I thought about how to do this. I'm not going to run them as center channels. I'm going to run them as left and right speakers. Then I will just drag them to the one and to the other, and as I do that on screen, I will indicate to you guys which one is playing at the moment. I'm going to put them nice and center of my camera so we can have them as fairly placed. That is about center of the microphone. Okay, so let me chat about these before I go into the testing, and then we'll come back. As this is the first time I'm going to have them next to each other like this as well. I'll be listening to the one on the system and then the other one. So these differences I'm going to experience with you guys for the first time. I'm going to comment now about my experiences as I've listened to them over the few weeks that I've had them in the system now. Definitely on this one and this one, SVS has done something to that mid to high range, elevating it slightly, almost like you would do a bass bump on a speaker, or an active speaker will have a bass bump to make that bass more exciting. This makes the mid to treble range more exciting. I guess why they did that is to make dialogue and vocals clear and pronounced. I must be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of that. When I put these in my system, I calibrate them so we can get an even response over the front stage. I'm not a fan of where this sort of jumps out at you and sort of shouts at you and makes itself known and pronounced. So luckily in calibration you can do that. Some people don't like it when you take out the character of a speaker. I'm in the ship of maybe, maybe not. When I'm listening to music, yes, don't change the speaker I'm listening to. But when I'm calibrating for home theater, I want a very unison, same sort of experience from all the speakers, and that you can do with calibration to an extent. With this, you bring that sort of back in line, and then if you still have a bit of trouble having dialogue clarity, you can always, depending on your receiver, you can do a dialogue bump on there, which will bring that back again, the more pronounced on dialogue and the highs. But for testing, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna keep them pure direct, no calibration added, left and right, so you can hear them the way the speaker manufacturer intended. Then I'll do another video where I run them as calibrated. So where I take away that little bump and keep it very neutral, so you guys can hear the difference there. So let's get into testing, and then I will be back to comments after I've heard this again side by side with you guys for the first time. Okay, slight change in plans. When I'm doing pure direct, I cannot drag left and right because I can't alter anything apart from the way that the recording was supposed to come through. So I'm going to stand here behind. I've listened to them now side by side to do my own testing. I'm going to stand behind now, and I'm going to pull a cable out of one and then show you which one is playing. So I've already sort of made up my mind, but I want you guys to hear. And then what I can do is we will then go I'm going to see if I can do the one that's been calibrated, if I can drag that left and right. So let's do the first one, uncalibrated. Okay, we will be starting with the Prime. I'm going to keep the volumes the same on both of these, which will be -10 on the receiver. That is normally where I would watch a movie, maybe to -5. But yeah, it's good for the testing. We don't want to overpower the microphone. So here we go, Prime center. for what it's worth, for shits and giggles, both of them in stereo. Going to see if I can do some voices so you guys can hear voices over the center. Let me just find the song for that. Okay, here we go, some vocals. Again, let's start with the Prime.
We were talking about my curiosity as to whether or not records wear out from scratching the way they wear out from playing. You know, if you.
Okay. Ultra.
We were talking about my curiosity as to whether or not records wear out from scratching the way they wear out from playing. You know, if you.
Okay, so that is it. That's it for non-calibrated, vocal, and then some music. So before we go to calibrated, what do I think? In all of my testings, these are better. The Ultra just is better. There's a bit more control in the bass, the bigger bass ports. I was standing behind you, you could see me feeling. The bass that comes out of here, the bass is good. What I'm trying to get at is this is a very good speaker, but this is a better speaker, but it's priced double again in this circumstance. Will I pay double? Yes, I would for me, but for the guy just starting out and not really wanting to go mental, this is a very good point. And they did it very well, where your next jump will be to here. There's no step in between. I do feel these bass ports, the bass you can feel is coming out of here, and it can be smoother. It's not as effortless as the bigger bass ports. The bigger bass port just rolls off much cleaner, much smoother. Also in this, I do feel it slightly brighter than this one. The mid bass on this is stronger as opposed to the bigger drivers. That is where bigger drivers come into play. So everything, this is very good. This is just slightly better. Okay, so yeah, that is what I think out of it in a nutshell. This is the better design speaker, it's the better looking speaker, it's the better performing speaker. This is just a very good speaker. Design has a bit of flair on the edges, but nothing really to shout about. You are going to need to explain to your friends why this speaker is so good. Where in this one, no explanation necessary. You can just see it out of the box. There's a pro and con to that. It's like when you see a supercar, you expect supercar performance. When you see a sleeper, or a supercar, that's the right example. Sleeper, supercar. Both of them very good, very fast. More bragging rights with this one. Now, next, let's do the testing with my calibration applied, and you can hear how it tones the speaker down. Now we can do calibrated. Again, let's start with the Prime. I have switched the subwoofer off as well, because as soon as I go to normal stereo, which is not pure direct, the sub comes in my calibration that I have set for that. So this will be subwoofer not playing. Now, actually, don't think this test is going to be valid, because now these sensor speakers are crossed, and they are crossed at 60 Hertz, which is still pretty low. Let's see how this test goes, because the sub picks up everything underneath 60 Hertz on my calibration. But let's do it. Let's do it. Prime first. Here we go. I can actually hear where that bass has been crossed in the calibration using the sub. Let me know if you can hear the mid-range slightly just tidied up a little bit, if you don't like that over pronunciation of it. I want to go back to the one where we do the vocals again on the Prime, so you guys can hear the vocal. Where is that one? There we go. Prime vocals.
We were talking about my curiosity as to whether or not records wear out from scratching the way they wear out from playing. You know, if you.
Okay, let's go over to the Ultra.
We were talking about my curiosity as to whether or not records wear out from scratching the way they wear out from playing. You know, if you get your fingers all over records that you want to hear when you get ready to play them, they don't play that well. Now, after you've fingered.
Okay, so that is it in a nutshell, guys. I am going to be putting these back in the cabinets, calibrating the entire Prime system and calibrating the entire Ultra Evolution system, and then giving my feedback on the systems as a whole, and then also mixing and matching, you know, using some Prime heights and Prime surrounds instead of Ultras to sort of save a bit of money if you want a Ultra front stage. So we'll go through all of that and we'll calibrate it all up with the PB16. As you've heard now, I've already done that with the Ultra, and that was the calibration, but I'm going to be doing it all again because things have changed, and every time you move something you need to recalibrate that system again. Guys, so yeah, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe and share. Helps the channel grow with Google Analytics and YouTube Analytics and all of that. And comment below, could you hear a difference? Which one do you prefer? Maybe which one do you have? Are you thinking of upgrading and you need something to sort of justify the increase? I hope this helps you to let you know that this is definitely the better speaker in every way. Although in audio it is not such a big jump as you might perceive, you are paying for all the niceties that comes with owning a supercar as opposed to a sleeper that still looks nice, but it's not the supercar. But the performance on this is insane. I can't stress that enough. These things sound bloody phenomenal. I would be happy just having this, but the part of me that loves audio and nice things, oh, I love the curves. Even at the back you see the curves here that you're not even going to see. It's hidden at the back, but it's so damn gorgeous. Guys, okay, so that's it for the sensor review. Stay tuned for the whole system. I'll be doing that next. I think that video is only going to come out next week. That one is going to be a bit of a difficult long video to shoot. Guys, I almost forgot to say goodbye. Until the next time, stay safe. Cheers. Bye.